Do you think we'll have another release
Well,
of Rogue One with a few extra
I
bits, maybe a commentary from Gareth? And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the 3D version has been released straight off the bat, so
Mm.
they don't have that. And let's face it, 3D is dying. Um,
Yeah.
it's not, such a big issue as it was maybe 3 years ago. Different story. But yeah, I don't know what they can do. I mean, look, they've basically come out and said you're not getting any of the deleted scenes,
No.
which a lot of people were hoping would be
Yeah.
on this release. Gareth Edwards has said the film that's out is the film, and which makes sense to me too. Yeah, it would be cool to see, but you're not going to be able to cut it all together into a completely different version
No.
of the movie that's going to work. And a lot of those scenes are unfinished, so I can understand why they've come with that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can really think of, if they did like a decent 2 hour documentary on the making it and a Gareth commentary, then. But I don't know if it'd justify, another double dip.
double dip,
Yeah.
Another double dip though, in 6 months' time. So who knows? We'll see what we'll see what happens. And they might release it with a making of Last Jedi on it and a couple of new trailers or something to sort of sweeten the deal. But yeah, we'll see what happens with all that.
And I definitely think like a nice substantial making of would be something that would probably persuade me to reach into my pocket again.
Yeah, that's
Initially the Rogue One features, they were short and there weren't too many of them. But when you watch it all spliced together like a documentary, it's actually not too bad an experience. It goes for about an hour and 10 minutes all up, and I think the JJ's doco for Force Awakens was about the same running time when it all came together. So
it was.
I don't know. It did go in a lot more in depth because you had that nostalgia side of things with Force Awakens as well. But yeah, I don't know what they'll do. It'll be interesting to see.
Look, I'd like to see something a little bit more in the special features. I was the same. I originally watched the docos individually, and then the next time I watched them, I watched it as the one long running piece.
Okay, yeah.
And so I watched it two different ways, but it was interesting. It offered some small insight to how the film was pieced together. It was very cool to see John Knoll sitting at his desk with his pitch for Kathleen Kennedy, and it had what I found really funny, Destroyer of Worlds at the top of the page, and I was like, I think that's Oppenheimer who was the one that made that speech about when it was nuclear war and all that sort of stuff.
He was, yeah.
And it was like, yeah, that's a reference to that, to Destroyer of Worlds. And I thought that was very cool, and how he had the pitch in his hand and was talking about that process with Kathleen Kennedy. But yeah, I just felt there was a lot of... There was so much more meat that could have been put into the special features, but I think this is also their testing ground for the first standalone to see how well it sold, and like, what people are craving, whether they are craving that, and this is that feedback, because they know with the saga films, we want our special features. We want that 1 hour documentary or an hour and a half or whatever. We want it jam-packed. And The Force Awakens was probably middle of the road when you compare what we got with the prequels. When you look at the prequel DVD releases, they are full of hours and hours and hours of special features, and we loved it. Some of the special features are better than the films. But
so hard.
Well, some of the documentaries there are fantastic on those prequels.
And when you got the Star Wars Blu-ray releases, once again, they had that very nostalgic way of putting the original making-ofs on, which was really cool. And then you had all the going into Lucasfilm and all the deleted scenes, and they went a little bit above and beyond. But I also felt that the Blu-ray box set was lacking probably a very major documentary about all 6 films, which would have been really cool. But once again, you watch all the little documentaries together, it really gives you so much information.
Bigger picture.
And then, like I say, The Force Awakens came out. It had the documentary there, and then it had all the other mini ones and all that sort of stuff. So it was really cool. But yeah, Rogue One lacking in special features. I think, like I say, this is a testing ground. I can't see them releasing another version around Christmas, because I think you got to keep in mind we're going to have The Last Jedi coming out and the Han Solo film coming out. They're not going to want to drag Rogue One into that ring as they're trying to advertise those two films around the same time. Right. So, because you've got Han Solo will be 6 months after The Last Jedi, unless we hope, depending if it gets delayed. But we've got that there. So, and they, as you were saying, Blair, they've released the 3D version already. Not like what they did with the Force Awakens. They've kept everything. They've put it all out at once. They're testing it out. What we could see though is after the first 3 standalones, probably a standalone box set. It'll probably be something like a Star Wars Story Collections, and it'll be the Rogue One, the Han Solo film, and hopefully if it's an Obi-Wan Kenobi film or whatever it will be, in a 3-box set with probably more docos, more special features, and all that sort of stuff. But I think it'll be years down the track.
Well, hopefully by then, Disc Media will still be around with us to do something like
that.
So,
that's it. You gotta,
and who knows, after the Han Solo movie, we could always get the box set of Rogue One, Han Solo, and Caravan of Courage. So,
Caravan.
Hey, I'm hanging out for a Blu-ray release of that.
Give me that. I'll have that. Caravan of Courage.
To our documentary. And
that's it.
About that would be very interesting.
Yeah, that's
actually, I really liked the second one of those Ewok movies. Was
The Battle of Endor.
Was actually really, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed that when it came out, and I only saw it again recently, and it's still not too bad.
Yeah, I have to confess, it has been a few years since I've watched those. I've got sort of that, the double pack on DVD that I think it's been discontinued for a while now.
It has, yeah. Right? I was lucky enough to procure one from Woolies for about $8 back in the day.
Wow. So it's been a while. It's something too I need to sit down with the kids and watch as well, because I think it is very much aimed at children there.
Oh, definitely. I remember seeing both of them at the Hoyts Regent, so that's how far back I go with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but I don't see a Rogue One release coming out again. I think we've got everything. We've got. We may see little things pop up on StarWars.com, which I know they have been. They've been sort of putting out the little special features, but this is a testing ground to say, okay, well, how well did the Blu-ray and DVD sell? What was the feedback? What was the transfer like? What was the special features like? What did the fans want? They've got people in places testing the market now, going, well, okay, well, 55% said they'd buy it again if there was an hour-long documentary of the making of, and let's do it, because we know that 55% of people are going to throw another $20 or $30 out there. But yeah, look, I think for me, as far as the release is concerned, this is where I think Rogue One fell short.